I know this is off topic, but you kind of sound like Hawk's Nest on YouTube to me.
The biggest thing I wanted to kind of convey with this video is recoil, 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 and also recoil goes.
I don't know. I'll let you guys decide. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Generation Next series, the series where we help walk you through your journey in video games and esports. In today's video, we're going to be answering the top 20 questions you guys had when it comes to esports and video games. So without further ado, let's get started. Question number 1. How do I get paid editing for esports professionals or joining teams to get paid? Okay, great question. I'm going to focus on how to get paid as an editor. This is really great because the better content you can make for an organization, the more views they're going to get, the more successful they're going to be. So this is definitely a skill that's in demand. So how do you get noticed doing it? So the first thing we need to understand is if you're really good at editing or if you're just getting started. Obviously, it's a repetitive thing. You just have to do it and do it and do it. And as you learn and develop, you're going to get better and better. So if you're just starting out, I would recommend just starting out editing your own videos and getting started that way. You can go out and film some B-roll of whatever. You can capture gameplay, or you can even have a friend who is a streamer download their streams and allow you to edit them into videos. That's going to be the best way to get started. Now, once you are an advanced editor and understand how to make a really good video, how to storytell, how to draw in attention, things like that, what you can do is start reaching out to larger streamers who have an audience and are potentially in a position to be paying an editor. Go into their Twitch, download their broadcast, edit it down, and send it to them. And I promise if you do a really good job at this, they will notice. Normally, they're going to have a business email or something listed on one of their social medias. Email it to them, upload it to Drive, try to get their attention and do this a couple times. If they like it, you might just land yourself a job. That's just one tip on how to go about doing this that I've seen work before, but obviously there's plenty of ways. Ultimately, if you're a really skilled editor, you're going to find a job. All right, so the next question is, how does esports work since we can't go to school? So I think this is talking about high school esports. And so the way our high school esports league works right now is you can just play everything from home. So essentially you just play from home like any other multiplayer game. Log in online, you'll go into our platform, you'll essentially just click a button that says you're ready to compete, and then our system matches you with another opponent and you guys play your match online. It's a pretty simple process, and it's honestly the same process even if schools were open right now. We always allow students to be able to play from home if they don't have access at school or if they're not equipped anywhere else. We don't want to limit that, so if you have a setup at home that works, we're going to let you play. Do you have to be a content creator to go pro? The short answer is no. There's nothing that says you have to be a content creator to go pro, but the reason you see a lot of content creation out of professional players is because that's like the number one way they make money. Contracts are getting bigger. If you're a top level player, you're getting paid a lot of money to play for a professional team, but the amount of money you're getting paid from a professional team is minuscule compared to the amount of money you can make off of streaming and YouTube, which is why most content creators do it and is typically the thing that a player will resort to after they're done playing pro, because professional careers are very short in esports right now. And if you can use your time as a professional to build a platform, you can then transition into doing that full time after you're done playing. What's the minimum team number needed to start a team? So for high school esports league, if you're talking about starting a team at your school, there is no minimum number as long as someone at your school is willing to sponsor the club. And by sponsor, I just mean someone who officially knows what's going on and is communicating with us. You can have one person entered into a Fortnite competition. You can have 100 people playing every single game we offer. Doesn't matter. All that matters is you get it started and you just have fun and enjoy it. Are the games streamed in the high school esports league? So typically for us in the high school esports league, we're just streaming our finals matches. Now, I would personally love to stream more. It's just a lot of work. It's very intensive, and it's not to say we're not going to do more of it in the future. Just right now, we're only streaming the finals. How do you actually go pro in a game? So this is a really common question, and I'm glad you asked it because it's confusing and it's also different for each game. So the main thing you want to understand is what is the path to pro system for your game. Each game will have what's called a path to pro system. You can search it up, and that's going to be the publisher's roadmap for how you can get discovered, start making money, and eventually get to be a professional player. Typically, it consists of an open division that is open to any team. Usually, they're free events that you can play. They're really large events. And if you can make it to the top, you get invited into the next tier. And that's where you'll play. And that's where professional teams are looking to recruit their next big players. So Path to pro. What games would you classify as games that are played in esports competitions? So I think this means like, what are the top esports titles? We're transitioning into this era in esports in which the top tier ones are really the franchise leagues. So right now for franchise leagues, we have League of Legends, Overwatch, and Call of Duty. But that's not to say those are the most popular. For example, Rocket League right now is more popular than Overwatch, but Rocket League isn't franchised. So I'm going to pop up on screen what I would consider the top esports titles to be involved in right now. But ultimately, there's a scene for a lot of games out there. My question is, how are you? I'm doing good, man. How are you? Do you recommend a high school team competing in multiple organizations? That's a good question. So I think when it comes to any level of competition, what you just need to ask yourself is why you're part of that organization and what are they offering to your team. I would not be part of multiple organizations if they're offering the same thing to you, but if one organization has a game that one organization doesn't, I don't think it hurts to be able to play in both and have teams and, just allow more kids to play. I'm always for that. There's a league in Florida for high school. So I don't know if there's like a state-run federation or anything that manages esports there, but what I do know is the high school esports league, we have a lot of schools in Florida. We work with those schools quite often, and any school in Florida is more than welcome to join the high school esports league. Can we join esports if we are on Xbox? So at the high school level, yes. At the professional level, it's tricky. So Xbox used to have a really big scene with like Halo, Call of Duty was originally Xbox, Gears of War, games like that. Now all of the top esports titles are played on PC. However, we're entering this age where cross-platform is so popular and so relevant that Xbox doesn't quite matter anymore so long as you're skilled at the game. So for example, games like Rocket League, Call of Duty, and Fortnite all use controllers, or you can use controllers professionally. So therefore, there would be no reason why your skill on Xbox wouldn't translate into being able to be a professional player in those games. How do I get on a team if I'm in high school? So I'm gonna pop up a website here, hsel.org/student. That's our process if you're a student and you want to try to bring esports to your high school. It's a really simple process, and it basically gets together students at your school, shows the school why it's important, and hopefully gets a teacher or someone at the school on board to help you guys start a team. Can you give some examples of games that are played in high school esports league? Yeah, I can pop them on the screen right now. We offer a wide variety of games. Pretty much every single game that has a major esports following we're going to offer, so long as the publisher allows us to. We do have to work with publishers on all the games that we promote and all the games that we run leagues for. So sometimes we can't run a league for a game that we want because the publisher won't allow us to. But these are all the popular games that we have. So next question is there a map that I can see of all of the high schools that have high school esports programs? Yes, there is. Just on our website, it's hsel.org. You can find a link to our map of all of our schools that have clubs with us. What if you're too embarrassed to ask your school to apply? If we're going to try to get deep here, a lot of times in life, the things that are worth the most to you are the hardest to acquire, and sometimes you just got to do things that put yourself out of your comfort zone. That's honestly where you grow, and it's a really important skill to develop, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. And this is just going to be one of those situations. You might not want to talk about it openly. You might not want to talk to your teachers about it. But if you do, the value that you're going to get out of joining that team, starting that team, and the joy that's going to come from it is going to far outweigh the fear that you have of asking for it. And even if they say no, you at least get to go to bed knowing that you tried. Can you do something in the UK? So we get a lot of questions like this about esports in different countries and things like that. And the thing you have to understand is it's not like a copy and paste thing when you're trying to run a league in a different country. You're talking about different servers, different rules, different regulations, different interactions between private companies and the education system. The education system might be public, private. There's so many variables that go into this. It's very difficult. So just know that we're not leaving out any country on purpose. We would love to run leagues for every single country in the world and bring esports to everyone, but it takes time and development. So unfortunately, it's not just an overnight thing. Can you help me get my school to make an esports league? So I can't. So I'm going to pop that URL back up, hsel.org/student. Use that URL to get you started. Put in the work, find the kids, find a teacher, someone at your school that's willing to sponsor the club, and you guys can bring it to your school really easily. I can't email your teacher, make it happen, but you guys can. So good luck to you. Have you ever heard of VRML, Virtual Reality Master League? Now I have. And this isn't even a question. Our final question is, bro, it's the Wish Ninja. I mean, I think that's a compliment, so I don't know. I'll take it.